Hi, I'm Charley, and this is my story. With my folks, and my folks, and most of the church knows my folks, going to church was not an option. It was, you had to be there. So they made sure that we were there when we were little kids, and then when we were probably middle school, and I recall that they were going to choir. And so we had a choice. We could get up earlier and go to church early with them and get a ride, or we could walk and make sure that we were there. But there was never an excuse. And that's what faith was, when we were growing up. I think that my faith really came to be realized at a point when I was on a plane after college, and we were taking off out of JFK. It was myself and a friend of mine from college, Ted Donnelly, and we had just taken off, and there was this immense noise, tremendous noise coming out of first class, and the people in first class looked panicked and were running back in the aisle, and the flight attendants looked panicked, and it was pure chaos. And the captain came on and said, we seem to have a depressurization event. We're going to turn around and take ourselves back in for landing. And, meanwhile, there's still chaos going on all around us. And then he announces that, and we're going to release fuel from our wings so that we're lighter for landing. And at that moment, I thought to myself, and so that we don't burn up and that we're not incinerated when we hit the ground, because I think that's what's going to happen. And for some reason, I wasn't panicked. And I realized at that point that I knew Jesus. And I thought, I'm going to heaven. What a relief. So having had to go to church all that time paid off right at that moment. Recently, I had an interaction about, I guess it's got to be at least 8 weeks ago, in New York City, going in to visit my girlfriend, and I have to park in a parking garage. And, you pull into the parking garage and, I say, hey, how are you? Well, I don't really want to be here. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. What are you missing? And he says, I miss my family. And, oh, are they out of the country? Are they somewhere else? No, they're just at home. I'd rather be with them than here at work. And the guy proceeded to show me tattoos of his daughters and his wife and etc. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so tremendous. May I pray for you? And he said, what? And I said, may I pray for you and your family? And he says, yes. Would you? And I said, yeah, absolutely. And I put my hands on him and I prayed for him and his family. And afterwards, he said, thank you. I feel better now. And I won't charge you for having an oversized SUV in our garage. And I thought to myself, wow, thank you. Ever since then, when I park at that garage, I don't get charged for having oversize. And I have the opportunity to pray for another attendant, because they always ask me, why is it that your car isn't being charged for oversize? And I say, because I pray for people. Can I pray for you? So now I've prayed for 4 different parking attendants. I think that the joy and enthusiasm that comes from me is a direct reflection of my entire family. My folks, anybody that knows them, knows joy truly in their hearts. They are burning with faith in Jesus, and they have imparted that to myself, my brothers, my sister, my nieces and nephews. When we join together, it is a raucous event, and it is, overwhelming with laughter and, just joking and joy. And the undercurrent to it all is our faith. And we start every meal, whether it's at Matthew's, at the diner, or out in another public place, or at home, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, with a prayer. and that joy and enthusiasm erupts all over the place and comes back into a solemn but joyful moment of prayer. And then the meal starts and it just explodes all over again. That joyfulness comes from my family. It comes from my folks. It comes from Jesus.